Hi, I'm Stiltskin. Welcome to FTL. Number 1 isn't with us this time because number 1 is in space medical school and he has space finals. So it'll be just us today. Welcome. We're going to jump to the next sector, and I'm going to go to the Zoltan homeworlds. Even though it'll put us on a collision course with the nebula, I think it'll be more interesting this way. So let's just go ahead and do that. Okay, here we are. It looks like there's a store right here. So I think if we hit this first, we might get 150, which would give us enough to buy cloaking if they have it. So let's aim to do that. Alright, we have intruders on board, and it looks like they also have a teleporter. Fortunately, they landed somewhere where we can easily vent them. And I think we'll also just let them board us with more guys. We'll send a couple mantises of our own. This should sort itself out relatively quickly. I think we should go ahead and send these 2 mantises into the weapons room so that when their guys break through, they can just fight. We'll go ahead and close the doors, and we should be able to easily contain the situation. As far as their weapons are concerned, if their bombs hit our shields, then we could be in a bad place. But otherwise we should be pretty good. It looks like their bombs hit our engine, so that's not great, but we do have a rock guy in there to put that out, and we can just send another rock guy even. Just assessing the situation. I think we should go ahead and fire our ion bomb as soon as it's ready at their shields, and then we'll try to shoot their weapons a little bit. I think while we're at it, we can also go ahead and send a boarding drone just to wreak havoc on their ship. Their guys have moved into our med bay. We can just turn off our teleporter, turn on the med bay. Oh, now they just left. That's fine. We'll go ahead and just vent them. Okay, now they're eager to go back to the med bay. And so we'll easily win that fight. We should go ahead and send our injured mantis in there as well. Okay, now their guys are trying to heal, so we'll actually want to shoot their med bay. We missed. That's unfortunate, but we should be able to take care of that. We need our NG to repair shields. They have a lot of bombs. I am not a huge fan. They're about to start a fire in our oxygen. Oh, that's terrible. We're going to go ahead and send both of these rock guys to put out that fire, and we'll leave somebody else to repair that later. We need to go ahead and board them. We'll board them in the weapons, and hopefully we can do a little damage to that. Okay, our ion bomb is ready. Their med bay is turned off, so we're going to go ahead and move in there. I'm not even sure how that happened, but that's fine with me. Let's ion bomb their shields. We're taking a lot of hits, but most of them are bomb hits, so our hull has not suffered tremendously. Our ship's not in great shape, but we are about to win. So we just won. That fight was pretty tough, but again, most of the stuff they were doing to us was from bombs, so I think this should be just fine. I'll go ahead and repair everything. We'll be right back. Alright, we're ready to go, and despite the hectic battle, we did come out with 200 total scrap, and we're going to hit this store now. Okay, they have cloaking, and we're definitely buying that, and I'm totally fine with that being the final slot. They have another chain laser. They're really loving to offer that to us this game. I don't think we want to take it, though. I'm kind of having second thoughts about getting rid of this heavy ion, because if you combine it with the ion bomb, it'll actually be pretty good, because we can stack a lot of ion damage with that combination. Of course, we don't have the ability to power that all right now. That will have to wait. It'll cost us 85, and we only have 50, so we'll just go ahead and wait, and maybe a better opportunity will come along. In the meantime, we have cloaking now, so we're extraordinarily strong defensively. Let's go ahead and jump over here. Alright, it looks like a pretty standard fight. They have a med bay, they're gonna board us, so we'll go ahead and kill them first. Doesn't really matter where they board us. Even if they are getting the upper hand, we can just send our own guys. They have a missile, so rather than use cloaking, we'll probably get shot at more than once. I'll just turn on the defense drone. I think we're going to want to swap out our mantises now because their guys are winning. That's fine. We have 2 fresh mantises. We can go ahead and power that med bay as well. Okay, they managed to get away and they do have a med bay, so we're going to eye on their shields and hopefully, well, nope, we won't be able to do anything. That's alright, they still can't really hurt us, and we'll be able to board them soon. We have the same number of guys, but one of theirs is an NG, so we might be able to sneak over and get the med bay. Or we could just eye on the med bay directly, which I think I actually might just do. Okay, even with our defense drone, they still got through to our drone somehow. Hopefully we can get that repaired before they shoot again. We should turn that power back on. Okay, we're ready to go. We're going to fire our ion bomb at their med bay. And that should keep it down long enough for our guys to kill them all. We're going to go ahead and just cloak out of the way of this incoming missile. We'll get everybody back to their positions, and then we'll be able to turn that defense drone back on. I think our guys, even though they are low on health, will win this fight, so I'm not worried about that. Okay, so we just won. Not too bad when you have a 4-man teleporter. Heal everybody, and I'll be right back. Okay, before we jump, I think we want to go ahead and upgrade our weapons. So now, if we run across an AI ship or something like that, we can turn on our heavy ion. And we can always mix and match our power to still use the teleporter if we really want to. Of course, we will be using the teleporter primarily, but if we need to, we can break out the heavy ion. Let's go ahead and jump to this distress. Okay, we have plenty of fuel, so let's give them some fuel. We get another heavy ion. That one we will be selling for sure. No bones about it. That is a lot of heavy ion. Okay, looks like a ship that has a pretty big missile. We're not really that scared of that though. Let's turn on our defense drone. Send our boarding party. They have no medical facilities to speak of. And I'm not sure we'll even really need our weapons in this fight. I think we should be able to dispatch them very quickly with 4 mantises. Even rock guys that have extra health, they just fall so quickly to these elite murder mantises. 2 of them are master killers and the others are still learning, but even the ones with training wheels are more than a match for a rock guy. So we beat them just that easily. Didn't really risk anything either. Of course, we do need to heal our guys. Alright, and I think we're going to want to go ahead and upgrade our power since we've been buying all these new toys. So now we can do a lot more. I think we should check out over here. Yeah, we should be able to get to the exit that way. Okay, an automated scout. And it looks like all the doors are connected, so that kind of makes me want to send over a boarding drone. They also don't have very much in the way of shields, so we should be able to dispatch them pretty quickly, especially since our drone happened to land in shields. One thing to note about breaches on AI ships is that they can't repair them at all. So if you breach anywhere on an AI ship, it will not ever get repaired. I think we can go ahead and just shoot our ion bomb at the shields anyway to speed up the process. Doesn't even matter if it stuns our drone. We can shoot our heavy ion at their weapons and use our chain laser for the same purpose. Okay, now we can fire safely at their piloting, and our drone will more permanently take down the shields. We can keep the heavy ion going. There's no reason not to. And so now we just kind of watch and wait for victory. We we can start to focus back on their weapons again. But they're really not a huge threat to us. This is a pretty weak ship. And there we go. Cool. Not a bad amount of scrap either. I had to skip that distress just because all these jumps, I'm not confident if we'd have been able to make it. We probably could have, but I'd rather not risk it. And I think we should go ahead and upgrade our engines one more time. So now we've hit the soft cap and we're at 45% dodge, which is just great. Alright, an AI ship without shields and only lasers. This is kind of pathetic. I don't think we even need to use a drone on this, really. We'll just shoot them down with our laser. We can cloak out of the way of their first volley if we really want to, but I don't think it's a threat. I guess this is maybe a burst laser Mark III that could shoot 5 shots. But if that's the case, well, it's already down because it took so long to charge, so this is a really weak ship. I guess it has high evasion, so we can go ahead and target that. If they do manage to charge up the laser, we can cloak out of it, and then we should have more than enough time to take down the weapons after that. Of course, it seems like that's probably not even going to be necessary. I don't really remember seeing a ship this weak, this far in the game in a really long time. This is unusually crappy. Maybe the rebels are low on funds. And we win. Pretty low scrap amount, probably because it was made of hopes and prayers and a little bit of twine. Okay. I think we can probably afford to upgrade. And I guess we might as well get some more cloaking. It couldn't hurt. No, nothing but intruders, so let's go ahead and take care of those little guys real quick. Oh, there's some more! Jeez, that's a bunch. 5 of them. Well, fortunately we come well equipped with people, bugs, rock creatures who are capable of taking lives in large amounts. These humans must be skilled at melee combat because they're almost putting up a fight, but of course they really just don't stand a chance. They boarded the wrong ship. They boarded the wrong ship for sure. We do have to heal up after that, so we'll be right back. Alright, let's go ahead and jump again. And I guess we have more time than I estimated, but fortunately this one will connect back to the nebula, so we'll still have plenty of time to get a couple more jumps in. Okay, let's see. It looks like these guys want somebody to take a ship intact. Well, we're more than capable of doing that. Now we have a quest in the next sector that will probably prove to be quite lucrative. Ooh, an ion storm. Let's see, we can let the rebels leave, or we can go after fuel or ammo. I think we should try and get the fuel. They don't have any healing, so I think we're more than capable of killing them. I'm not really too worried by their weapons either, so let's leave our engines off for now, and we'll just power the important stuff, like our teleporter, cloaking, and shields. Let's beam on board. Hey guys, I heard you have some fuel. I'd like to acquire that. If you would be so happy as to oblige, we can be on our way. Thanks a ton. Well, even though it was an ion storm, that was kind of a piece of cake. These ships really just can't stand up to the love friend. No one can resist our love. Our mantises love with their whole beings, their mandibles especially, are well suited to that. We do need to power our engines in order to leave, so let's go ahead and do that. And jump down here. Okay, nothing here. Onward to the exit. I think we can be a hero. We do need to power up everything. They have mind control. That will delay things, but it's not terribly important. But first things first, let's turn some toys on. Actually, we're gonna want that defense drone. We'll let the guy who's mind controlled just kind of hang out in the teleporter by himself for a little bit, and then when he's finished we'll just teleport on board and start to kill them. They don't have any healing facilities, and their weapons aren't a huge threat. We should send somebody to babysit him though. Okay, let's just heal them up a touch before we head over, and now we're ready to go. Just in time to use cloaking because, hey, no reason not to. We can turn off the defense drone, turn on our teleporter, and beam on board. Okay, let's go ahead and ion that mind control just in case. That way they can't mind control any of our boarders, which would probably prove disastrous for their health. One of our guys is a little low, so I'm just gonna run him away. Looks like they're sending an NG after him, but he can easily escape. Our cloaking's worn off, so we're gonna want to turn on our defense drone. We just have to pay attention and make sure that our mantis does not get caught by this murderous NG. Okay, and now the NG has just decided to go meet his doom. We can swap out our injured mantis for this other less injured mantis. I didn't mean to shoot the ion bomb at that again, but it won't hurt, so that's fine. I think we need to get our guy out of there. Did I lose it? No, I didn't lose a guy. I'm not sure where everybody went. Oh, okay. I guess they were just stacked up. I think we should make sure that we're fighting in the appropriate area with the appropriate people. So let's put him there and him there. Okay, we'll get the NG, and now we need to move this guy out and put him in, and then we'll send some backup. There we go. And now we've captured the ship without any losses. Looks like the pirate we were fighting, or the ship we were fighting the pirate for died, but that left us with a hefty chunk of scrap. So it's sad for them, but it's good for the Federation, and in a way that's really more important. So we'll just get our team back. They are really beaten up, but they were not conquered due to our careful micromanagement. So we'll be right back. Alright, I think we're ready to upgrade because I think we should go to the next sector first. We may actually have time to jump down here though. Probably should have upgraded before that, but that's okay. I think we're gonna break out the ion for this to tear through that Zoltan shield. We'll want our defense drone on, and other than that I don't think they're a very big threat to us. Once we get the Zoltan shield down, which should happen quite quickly, we can just board them and clean house real quick. So this should be a relatively easy fight, assuming no missiles get by our silly defense drone that is pretty lax on security sometimes. There he goes. Good job. Let's go ahead and power our teleporter in anticipation. There we go. I don't think we really even need our weapons at this point. It doesn't really matter. We'll just leave that how it is, and we'll finish killing them. We do need to be careful about our guy's health with all the Zoltans exploding. In fact, I think we're gonna take 2 of them to a different room. This should lessen the damage from explosions. There we go. And now we're ready to take them back. Okay, so we'll just heal them up. Okay, I think we're going to jump to the next sector and then decide whether or not to upgrade based on if there's a store or not. We can go to the Rock Homeworlds or the Rebel Stronghold. Wow, that's really interesting. Well, the Rebel Stronghold is almost all AI ships, so I think the clear choice here is the Rock Homeworlds. And there is a store. So let's go there first, see what they have, and then we might upgrade or we might buy some stuff. Alright. Well, that doesn't look super interesting. Long-range scanners. This actually isn't all that exciting. They do have a guy who's a master at shields. And Pierzak, well, you're not very good. You know, I'm kind of tempted to dismiss you, guy, and hire a new Zoltan. You've served us well, but I think ultimately the Zoltan who's a master of shields will be more useful. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and dismiss you, buddy. Sorry. And now we'll go ahead and buy Jeff Bars, the Zoltan, who will power our ship more and also man shields, and giving us a free power. I'm going to go ahead and look up the name, so we'll be right back. Alright, welcome aboard Yapping Evie, who wrote a biography that was quite compelling, and you can find it in the thread. Yapping Evie has replaced our rock guy as a master of shields and is giving us power. I think as far as this store is concerned, there's not really too much else that we want. Long-range scanners actually could be pretty good, so let's go ahead and get that. And we'll fix up a little bit. There's another store, so let's jump down here, and then possibly even here, and then to the store. You never know, they might have some really awesome weapons or an augment that you really want. I think in this case we will definitely want to employ... Actually, we may not need to even use the defense drone. Let's go ahead and board them first, and we'll use cloaking to get out of the way initially, and then if we need to, we can use our defense drone. Why waste the drone part if it's not necessary? I think we should be able to kill them pretty quickly. These 4 mantises just do so much damage, it's just incredible. Because of our engines and crew members, we now have more than 100% chance to dodge when we cloak, so there's no way that those missiles could hit us. Oh, so now we just have to heal up. Alright. And we can go ahead and jump down here before we hit the store too. We have a lot of scrap and we can do some heavy upgrades, but I am on the lookout for some slightly better weapons, and we're getting a little bit low on missiles. Okay, these guys, their bombs could be pretty scary, but their weapons that do hull damage aren't. So if we take them out quickly enough, hopefully we won't take any damage. They have a med bay though, so I think we will need to use our ion bomb on the med bay. We might want to wait a little bit for that to charge up. Our mantises will do so much damage, they'll send them to the med bay very quickly, so we'll want to wait. I think now should be good. And then as they start trying to use the med bay, we will hit it with the ion bomb. Looks like they got our sensors. We can go ahead and send our NG to repair that. And we can even use cloaking to get out of the way of the next bomb. Like so. Okay, I think we just have one more guy to kill, and then we should be ready to go. Alright, not too bad. You'll notice after you win, you can teleport your guys back instantly. So that's pretty handy. It does not work if you're in an asteroid field, or I think a star that's setting your ship on fire. So be careful about that. But in a regular sector, you can always teleport them back instantly. Alright, let's go to this store with a bunch of scrap in our pocket. Let's see, fire suppression, defense scrambler, combat drone. Not too much to choose from. We can sell this other heavy ion. I kind of like everything that we have going right now. Fire suppression would be good, but I don't think it's worth replacing the stuff we already have. Same goes for defense scrambler. So I think we will buy a few missiles just in case. And we're going to want to go ahead and just upgrade finally. So first we'll get more power. That way we can use our drones in conjunction with everything else we have. And then I think we will go ahead and get more shields just while we can afford it. We can take power out of engines to accomplish that. Should probably be more important in most cases. And let's jump up here to avoid that hazard area that we now know about because of our long-range scanners. Let's see, there's a disabled rock transport. Let's just go ahead and try and strip it. Cool, free stuff. Love that. Well, it looks like we have to go to either an asteroid field or a sun. We have a lot of defense, so I'm pretty confident about our chances in an asteroid field. Let's just go ahead and do that. Okay, they have cloaking and 2 missiles. Fortunately, we also have cloaking. So hopefully we'll be able to take care of them once they're finished cloaking. I didn't notice if they have a med bay or not, but I don't think they do. It's not showing up down here, so yeah, they do not. We're going to cloak out of the way of that, and let's go ahead and just turn off our heavy ion to power our teleporter. Alright, hopefully we'll be able to kill them before they can get off another volley. Unfortunately, even if they cloak, they can't get away from the mantises on board their own ship, so we'll be able to take them out regardless of what they do. Nothing can fight off 4 mantises, it just doesn't happen. They did get another couple of shots off, so we're going to turn on a defense drone and hope to get at least one of those. And the other one missed. Handy that. So, I don't think we took any damage there. And now as soon as this dead ship is done cloaking, we can get our guys back and jump out of here. After healing, of course. So, I'll just cut it here. Alright, we're ready to jump. And there's a distress beacon, so we're going there. Of course, there was no other choice anyway. Wow, lots of options. This is the human mining colony where the disease has broken out. These 2 first ones for the crew members are not as good as our med bay, which can actually just cure them outright. So we're going to do that, and this is what we get. Usually you get a little bit more actually, but hey, that's better than nothing. It's free stuff, so we can't really complain. Here's our quest from the last sector. Let's go ahead and check that out. Alright, we have to capture it intact. That shouldn't be too hard with our current loadout, but let's let them board us first. We should hopefully be able to kill them before they can teleport back into a med bay. Actually we probably won't since they boarded us in a 2-person room, but that's okay. In the meantime, we can just board them. Their weapons aren't really a big threat to us unless their bomb does something really lucky. So while their rock guys are on board here, we'll just totally screw up their Zoltans real bad. We will just jack them up. Oh yeah. It looks like these rock guys are actually doing quite well against our mantises, but that's fine because we can always just retreat them into the med bay, and before they can completely take out oxygen, we can run them back. Or even if they do take out oxygen, it's not a big deal. Let's just get back there. They did get oxygen, but we should be fine. We'll go ahead and pull these guys back. Huh. Well, they just boarded us, but that's actually for the best because our guys were quite injured. So we don't want our mantises repairing that. Let's go ahead and send our NG. I'm not really scared of their weapons, and I ioned their med bay, so there's not a whole lot they can do to us. They have an ion bomb, but even if it hits our shields, their laser can't get through. Let's go ahead and finish them off. Our O2 is back on, but it does need to be powered. And as long as that ion holds, which it did, then we win. And as our reward, we get a breach bomb Mark II. This should be really great, actually. But first things first, let's get our crew back. Send him to the med bay. And let's take a look at this. So it charges in 17 seconds. It takes 2 power. And it does 3 system damage, and it'll of course make a breach, true to its namesake. Well, I'm liking that. In fact, I kind of like that better than the ion bomb. That is almost as much damage. The ion is 4 ion damage, but this is actual damage, and with a breach it'll be very hard to repair. It also does 45 damage to crew members, so this will be very good for the boss fight. In fact, I think that could perhaps take out the missile single-handedly if you fired it twice. So that's really interesting. Great reward. We have a lot of scrap again, so let's go ahead and upgrade our power some more. And upgrade our O2. While we're at it, we'll upgrade cloaking and power again. Our ship is already looking really good, and we're not even at the end of the game yet, so I'm pretty confident about this. We're pretty heavily reliant on missiles, but as long as we're able to save most of them for the boss, we should have more than enough. We also have plenty of drone parts. We could stand to have even more power, but really we don't need the full cloaking and most of this stuff for most fights. We still have some time to go back here, and I think that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's see. You are immediately messaged by an imposing-looking rock war vessel. You're the ship off to save the Federation, aren't you? And you expect to survive with that hunk of junk? This could be an interesting quest. Let's see what's going to happen here. Let's go with we're going to save them or die trying. The latter being more likely. Still, we can potentially help you and your precious fleet, but you'll need to prove yourself first. Meet us at these coordinates. They jump away. So it sounds like when we meet them, perhaps in the next sector, then we will have to prove ourselves to them. I wonder what that could mean. I'm not sure. Well, for now, we'll go ahead and jump here. Okay, they have a lot of stuff they can fire. Fortunately, we have cloaking, just like they do, but we're smarter about how we use it. So we'll just wait to cloak out of the way of this first volley, and then we'll cloak ourselves. And I would normally teleport over, but I don't like the look of that med bay. We're going to wait to get a breach bomb into the med bay, which actually charge faster than the ion bomb, and then we're going to teleport over. Alright, that's looking great. They should have a hard time repairing that, especially since they're now having to fight some mantises. They are really fast with that cloak, and it lasts a long time, but fortunately for us, our mantises are already on board. They might get another volley off at us, which could do a little bit of damage, but I'm sure the reward we get will outweigh whatever damage we take. We do want to watch our guy's health very carefully, but I think we're good. Yeah, once one mantis kills a guy, then he'll contribute to all the other mantises' fights. And it looks like we managed to win, and we can still cloak out of the way of this flak. I don't think it was going to get us, but it doesn't hurt. We'll heal up and head on our way. Alright, we can jump, but I think first I'm going to just buy the last 2 power. This way we have a little bit more to contribute to a drone, and we only have to depower 1 and teleporter or something like that to use our boarding drone. Oh, wow. We took 5 damage to our hull. That's always fun. Fortunately, it's not a huge setback because we did have a pretty good amount of health, so we'll just repair at the next door and that should hopefully be fine. Hey, we got found an abandoned mining station with a free ion intruder drone. Well, that's really cool. I think I actually kind of like these better than the boarding drone. I haven't really used it too much before. Let's give it a shot. Well, we may not use it, but if we end up using it, it could be interesting. Looks like our decision to go to the nebula paid off because the Slug Home Nebula is really a pretty interesting sector. So let's check that out. We don't have a slug, which could be to our detriment, but we do have level 2 oxygen. That's going to be important in this sector. There's a store, but we don't want to go there right away. We do have a little bit to sell, so we are safe to hit it after, let's say, 1 node. Okay, nothing happened here. That's okay. We do still want to go to the store, if nothing but to sell a few things and repair a little bit. And it looks like they don't have too much that we would really want anyway, except for the backup battery, which we may get. Let's go ahead and sell our heavy ion. I am tempted to keep the boarding drone. It says it's more valuable than the ion intruder. You know, with our 4 mantises, the boarding drone might actually be more valuable, now that I think about it. I think I'm going to have to wait another day to use the ion intruder. So let's go ahead and sell that. Let's buy the backup battery, and we're going to repair a little bit. We are in Sector 7, so as long as we make it to the end, we can get a bunch of free repairs. I don't think that I really want any of the rest of these. The weapons we have now are very powerful for how much power they cost, except for the chain laser, but that's the only thing we have that does actual hull damage. So I would like to get a better laser, but I'm not sure it's going to happen. We'll just have to wait and see if something turns up. We do have a very powerful boarding attack, so we can use that as a pretty big crutch. Let's go ahead and go where we know there's action. Okay, they're trying to hack our medbay. We have an improved medbay, so we can at least get one. We've been boarded somewhere. So we just have to wait and see where they attack. It looks like they boarded us in the airlock. That wasn't very smart. They're trying to get into our medbay, which is even less smart. Their weapons don't look too scary at all. Couple lasers, couple beams. They shouldn't be able to get through our shields. So I think we can just safely wait to deter this attack, and then board them ourselves after a breach bomb to their medbay. We can turn on our medbay since we were able to counteract their hacking. No problem there. And now let's go ahead and just breach bomb that medbay. Then we can board. Okay, and on we go. I really like the breach bomb Mark II. It fires really fast. It does a lot of damage, and it's just so hard to repair with those breaches, especially if they don't get it fast enough the room loses oxygen, and the AI doesn't like to go into rooms that don't have oxygen. I think this ship had 6 slugs on it, but you can see how fast the mantises just tear through them. So we'll heal up and be right back after another win. Okay, we are ready to jump. Let's look at upgrading our ship first though. We're already pretty decked out, but I think we can do more. First of all, we do have this battery, so we can get some more power, but what would we use this power on? Well, I think we can upgrade drone control. If nothing, it will make it easier to keep our drones powered even when it gets damaged, but this also means we can power defense and boarding at the same time. Then we just need a little bit more to upgrade our battery. You know, we might as well, while we're at it, go ahead and upgrade our sensors. It doesn't take any power. Our ship is already looking really good. We will upgrade our engines most likely. It's just not a huge priority because we probably won't have the power to use most of the engines, and it gives diminishing returns. Alright, this looks like a ship that we will want to use cloaking on from the first missile volley. They have a medbay, so we'll want to use the breach bomb on that. So we can wait to teleport for a little bit, and now should be a good time. This has the side effect of if any guy goes into the medbay, when it fires it does 45 damage, so it'll just kill him outright. I don't think the missile is fired yet. If it did, I wasn't paying attention and it missed anyway. Nope, there it goes. So let's go ahead and cloak. We have our other weapons, but we won't really need to use them. And there we go, a free hull beam. Well, first things, let's teleport back and heal up. Now, in considering this hull beam, let's look at it. It takes 14 seconds to charge, 2 power. It only does 1 damage, but it does doubles damage to systemless rooms, which the boss has a lot of, except in Phase 3. I'm hesitant to get rid of my only laser. Yeah, that's a tough choice. I think we'll keep this around and see what other weapons we find. I kind of want to replace the ion bomb because we already have the breach bomb. There's another store, but we don't have much scrap to spend. If we go back here, we might pick up some. I'm not sure if I want to cut it that close since we still have to get to the quest though. I think we'll just go over here and skip that store. Alright, a Mantis ship. We'll let them board us first. Oh, how convenient. They boarded us in the perfect place for them to get murdered. They don't even have time to teleport back and heal. So we'll heal our own guys. Breach bomb is just about ready. So we'll send on over to greet them. And hopefully... Well, I think the breach bomb missed. But that doesn't mean we can't use our ion bomb. They have some ion bombs of their own, but they don't have as good of aim as we do. And there we go. 77 scrap, 6 fuel. When you board, the rewards are just so good. We are in Sector 7 too, but just throughout the game, the reason we have so much scrap is because the rewards for boarding are just so far above destroying the ships. I think we can look at upgrading our ship once more. We'll go ahead and get that battery. And while we're at it, I think I will wait to upgrade engines. We're just 1 short. And that should be the next priority. We can go over here and then hit that quest. Okay, this is why you get level 2 oxygen when you go to the slug sectors. If we didn't have it, then he would have just hacked our oxygen for the whole fight. Unfortunately, we still have oxygen. It looks like they're going to cloak and then shoot a missile at us, so we'll just cloak out of the way of that. Hopefully we'll be able to kill them before they can cause too much damage. We are, as usual, waiting for the breach bomb before we board. And now should be a good time. Always want to board in a room that has 4 guys, so you can take full advantage of the Mantis Fury, especially when they have fewer than 4 guys remaining. You get multiple attacks on the same guy. They're trying to retreat, so now is a good time to fire that breach bomb, except that it missed, so we'll try the ion, which also missed. That's unfortunate. But their medbay is full, so we'll still murder us some slugs. We just may have to teleport back after doing so, just to play it safe. I think that's what we'll do. So we'll just heal up our guys. They'll be healed too, but this time it'll be 4 against 2, and we can send a couple guys to sneak off and destroy the medbay. Still not super worried about their weapons. If they decide to fire that missile, we can always turn on our defense drone, if we don't have cloaking, which of course we do. We won't every time, but so far that has held true. Let's go ahead and board again. Okay, and let's send these 2 to the medbay. Oh, they don't like that. Well, that's fine. We'll go over here and send these 2 to the medbay. You can't win, buddies. Well, I think we'll just have to wait until they get low on health, and then send 2 guys to finish them off, with 2 others distracting. That seemed to work okay, and there we go. We got them. With the Mantis pheromones, mantises who already move fast just move lightning fast through the ships. They just tear around. Okay, now our quest. Oh right, it's always at a sun. I forgot about that. This quest that we're doing is the quest that unlocks the rock ship, and we're gonna have to basically just survive until they jump. So we can't cripple them too badly, or else we'll essentially lose the quest. We also don't want to kill them, well, at least not all of them. So we don't really want to board them either. Fortunately, it looks like their weapons aren't that scary. The scariest thing they have is a bomb, and I don't think that's going to do too much by the time we can just cloak. So by the time it actually would hit us, I think we may already be jumped. The sun is not super scary because we have such a full crew. We can probably put out any fire. It's okay that we just killed those 2 rock guys, we just have to not kill the whole crew. And we actually want to let them get away. So that's fine. They started a fire in the cloaking. So we'll just send NG and a rock guy to put that out. And I don't think it should do any hull damage. It may get through that first bar there. It will. But we should have it out before it actually hurts. Oh no, it didn't. Great. We do need to heal Goku, our NG. And now we're ready to go. Of course, plenty of time to get back before the sun. And now we have another quest all the way down here to meet them. So it's a good thing we kind of did this early. And we can collect our reward there. We can't upgrade because we're out of sun. So let's jump. Okay, it's a pretty well-decked slug ship with a lot of ion weapons. Fortunately, our cloaking should prove effective against that when it starts to build up. I think we'll cloak right now. So we can dodge plenty of shots. We'll fire the breach bomb while we're still cloaked. It'll set us back a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal. I would really like if that didn't miss so much. That would be super neat. Now we won't be able to fire because they're cloaked. But just as before, we'll still be able to kill some slugs because the med bay is full up. I don't really want to use the ion bomb. I'd rather wait for the breach. And even if it doesn't kill them, it should decrease their health a lot. There we go. And now we can finish off their ship. This time without having to teleport back on board. Okay, not too bad. As usual, we'll heal up. Okay, we're gonna jump. I probably should have gone to that store, but it's a little too late now, and that's alright. I forgot to heal one of our mantises, but it looks like we're not gonna have a fight on our hands anyway. It looks like they'll upgrade our doors for 28. Well, that's a lot cheaper than it would normally be, so sure. Now we have fully upgraded doors. Let's actually heal over here. Let me look up what that name really is. Renegret. Okay, that's what I thought. We'll heal Renegret so that we don't send him off to his death. And now we will jump away once more to our quest. You arrive at a massive Rockman shipyard and notice the ship that had just tried to kill you is docked and already being repaired. Well fought. I must say I did not expect you to survive. I am convinced of your strength and pledge to assist your cause. We'll immediately send an advanced cruiser to the Federation fleet and we will prepare our warships to move out. Now that that's taken care of, let us patch up your hull. Maybe we can improve its armor plating while we're at it. Perfect. So the long-range scanners are a great augmentation, but you don't really need it when you're fighting the boss. So this is the perfect time to switch it out with rock plating, which will basically give us a 15% chance to negate any hull damage, which is great when you don't like to die. So we'll do that. If I hadn't already unlocked the rock ship, that also would have unlocked the rock ship for us, so that's the quest that does that. All the unlock quests give you great rewards like that, and this one happened to repair us also, which is just really convenient, even though we're about to get repaired anyway. We can upgrade our ship again, and I think we'll probably go ahead and get some engines finally. We'll leave a little bit in case we come across a store that has something that we want. And I think we have time to go here, here, and then the exit. Okay, this is the Black Raven. We have not heard of him though, no. He says that he's heard of us, and he challenges us. Well, of course we'll accept that challenge. when this will immediately put us into a fight. We're not in a nebula for once, so we can see all the little sluggies. And this is basically the same kind of ship we've been fighting this whole time. They have a lot of ions and some beams, which is a little bit scary, but we do have cloaking to kind of get rid of that. This time I'm going to wait all the way to see if breach actually hits, and then I can decide if I want to teleport. So it missed, which is why we waited. At the next store, if we happen across it, I'll probably buy some missiles, but if we hit any repair nodes, then that will also give us missiles in the final sector. So hopefully we'll be alright on that. Okay, we finally got the med bay, so we'll go ahead and go over there. These slug ships do have slug gel that automatically heals breaches, so we're going to want to send 2 guys in there, and our other 2 will take 2 slugs at a time. And that way we can keep the med bay down without having to waste any more missiles. They're continuing to shoot ions at us. Oh, it looks like that area ran out of oxygen before they repaired the breach. We do want to keep an eye on our guy's health. I think we'll go ahead and do the old switcheroo trick here. Not sure what this slug has in mind. Oh, he's just running to his death. Okay, well now we win, and we didn't take any hull damage. That wasn't too bad. Heal up, and we'll continue on. Alright, we're ready to go to the exit. And on to the last stand. But of course, that will have to wait for another episode. So, thanks for joining me. I'm Rumpelstiltskin, and I hope to see you next time.